Welcome back to another episode of Odyssey News. I am Mike Odyssey, and dev kits are out for the Nintendo Switch 2, and I have the proof. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Odyssey. Hit the like, press play. You're running with the squad like Xenoblade. Drive like Mario, we on a...
So before we get into today's stories, you see, I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask for your subscription. You see, I'm legally blind, and I'm basically losing my sight as we go. I don't have sight on my left eye, and I have about 40% sight of my right eye, and it's just fading away, right? The doctors right now have nothing else they can do, but I have a dream to become a full-timer on YouTube by the end of this year, and I want to ask you for your help. If you subscribe to this channel right now, it'll only take a second. For me, it'll just change my life. So if you could do that right now, I would really appreciate it. Here, we have Monday through Friday Nintendo news. On the weekends, we have products and reviews. And we also have the occasional Nintopic podcast with your favorite voice actor. So I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. And I just want to thank you in advance for giving me your subscription. Let's move on to today's stories. All right, so to rewind just a little bit here, we got some news about a couple of weeks ago on dev kits being released to developers, right? Which basically this news was debunked days after, and the same people who debunked the news kind of set the trap to see if this person would just kind of just blabber out that news without having to do the investigation to prove if it's real. But another source stated that yes, this was fake news because dev kits have already been going out for a couple of months now. Now, that very same phrase, dev kits have been out for a while now, made me go into this hunt, right? And so I looked through hundreds of patents here, hundreds and hundreds, until I found one of them which looked very, very weird, right? And that's what you're looking at right now. It says May 26, 2022, last year in May, which kind of makes sense if there were a Nintendo Switch next gen console coming out this year, then last year will be a great time to give out those dev kits so that developers can go ahead and test their games and make sure they are ready and compatible with the next gen gaming console, right? So now, I want to go over two things here. I just want to go show you two things here. I want to go ahead and scroll down here. First thing, it says a game development system. Okay, a game development system. What's the game development system? It's a system that is used to develop games. So it's basically a dev kit, okay? So a game development system includes a game apparatus for executing a game program being developed. Okay, so I think that itself, we don't have to read anymore. That itself tells you, yes, this is a dev kit, which was kind of published on May 26, 2022, right? And let's go down here, game apparatus, right? Information processing apparatus. And of course, we see an image here. If we go down, we see an image of a Nintendo Switch, okay? And this is very common because game dev kits, they don't normally look like the final product, and you can see this here when it comes to the PlayStation 5. I think it was the dev kit. This was a completely different beast. It looks like a spacecraft or something compared to the final product. So if in Nintendo we were to have the same form factor, like same screen, same form factor as in docked and mobile, then of course it makes sense to just give out these dev kits in the same kind of form factor as the Switch to prevent leaks. You know, people can take a picture of this and say, oh, this is a dev kit. Nobody will believe me because it looks just like a Switch. What the Switch is, and I'm going to stop right here. Okay? This is the internals. Okay? This is what separates the Switch from any other thing. Yeah, you can take a picture of a Switch and it'll look the same, but the internals tell a different story. Now, I have another patent for a regular Nintendo Switch pulled up here, just so that we can do a comparison, okay? I have one right there. This one was issued March 30th. Why March 30th? Because we have a Nintendo Switch OLED Tears of the Kingdom edition coming out, and Nintendo always issues a patent before they release a console. The Tears of the Kingdom edition is coming out next month, or this month, later this month. And so we have a patent for another Switch. Here, we have the internals. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put side-by-side comparison. So far, everything looks kind of similar. Kind of similar, right? Kind of similar. Let me go ahead and get that here. Kind of similar, right? Terminal, right? So on this one, this is the, let's see here. This is the May 26th. This is the dev kit. Now this is the actual patent. This is the Nintendo Switch patent. Let me go scroll up. As you can see here, yeah, this is the Nintendo Switch patent. Now if we go to the actual dev kit, let's move on here. No, that's not it. Here and scroll up. There you have it. There's more to this than the original one. The processor, there's no way of knowing the processor here, speeds or anything, because this is just a description of what it looks like inside. But you can see here already there are more boards here attached to it than if you were to look here into the regular Nintendo Switch. Acceleration sensor and an angular velocity sensor. Now, I think these two play a big part in what the next gimmick will be in the next Nintendo Switch, because of course this is completely missing from this year's Nintendo Switch and from the current Nintendo Switch. It does not have an acceleration sensor or an angular velocity sensor. So whatever it is that Nintendo is working on using that dev kit, then it's something, it's a completely different gimmick. We don't know what that means, what is it going to be used for, but I just wanted to bring this up for discussion because it's very interesting, guys. This definitely is a dev kit. Definitely it looks like a Switch, but it's meant to look like a Switch because Nintendo is going to keep the same form factor. And yeah, to prevent leaked images or anything unlike that sort, they kept it in the same exact form factor. It might look a little different, might look a little more simpler, but here we have the dev kit that was issued. Okay, this patent was issued in May. Now here we have a side-by-side look, which is a better look of both internals of the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch or next gen dev kit. And off the bat, you can see here we have the acceleration sensor for the dev kit and the angular velocity sensor for the dev kit. Now we also have another difference here. We have a touch panel controller here for the dev kit, and this is a touch panel, which, you know, on the original Switch we only have a touch panel. So there is something to be said about that as well. A different type of technology when it comes to the touch panel. Or this is something that they add at the, you know, dev kits to allow developers to have more freedom on what they should do. Now, I want to show you the rest of the patent here because it tells you a lot more information, gives you a lot more information on what it is, okay? So NFC communication, infrared, capture section. There's a lot more information here. More information regarding the app, the battle controller, debugging, you know, event, a field, the CPU, GPU. It gives you all the information regarding the next gen console or the power behind it. So if you're testing a game and it's a very high graphical game, then this is where you would actually look at how much CPU and GPU is your game actually using. So guys, without a shadow of a doubt, this is truly a dev kit patent that was issued, and I know that dev kits have gone out. Of course, what we have here is descriptions without too much information, so there's no way to knowing whether this is a more powerful processor. All we know that it is a more, you know, integrate one because it has more things attached to this processor, and maybe these additions have to do with the new gimmick, new style playing that the next gen console will introduce. Now, I spent hours and hours of investigation to get into this video, so if you are gonna cover this on your channel, please go ahead and use the links in the source. And yeah, that is gonna do it for this episode of Odyssey News. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this discovery. Does it get you more excited to know that yes, dev kits are out there and the internals are not the same as Nintendo Switch? there's something else going on behind the scenes, which proves once again that the Switch 2 might be coming this year. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this episode, this investigative episode of Odyssey News. I am Mike Odyssey, but before I let you go, I have two important things I need to let you know. Number one, never give up. And number two, journey on. Peace.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding